Kings Lynn in Norfolk, and it's a typically busy weekend in a typical British market town. But it's a town centre with a security history. This was the first place in Britain where the CCTV cameras were fully deployed for the safety of its citizens.
You are nicked.
CCTV in Kings Lynn is far from typical. It's a pioneering system which has played a unique part in the CCTV story. Kings Lynn, an ancient market town, is set at the mouth of the River Ouse in Norfolk. For over 1,200 years, it's been a centre of trading and business that draws visitors from all over the world. Today, Kings Lynn has over 180 CCTV cameras covering an area of 10 square miles. And in one of the most watched over societies in the Western world, this is where modern CCTV started. CCTV is a familiar tool in the fight against crime all over the country, but it all began here in 1987 on the North Lynn Industrial Estate. It was brought in to combat petty crime, fighting and drunken hooliganism. The enemy is still the same today. 9 o'clock Saturday, and duty operators Ali and Sally get a report from a pub that two men have been seen taking Class A drugs.
Yes, that was the Maid's Head. They're now making their way up Market Lane towards the Lattice House. We haven't got cameras there, but we'll let you know if they come out.
They spot the men, but lose them out of camera range. A police patrol unit is sent to try and head the two men off.
Yeah, control uniform 1 and 2. The males are now on Chapel Street.
A second patrol car reaches North Lynn from the opposite direction.
They were obviously heading for the North Lynn area. There is one main route that they will go. So I brought our vehicle down towards the North Lynn cut-through.
Austin Street, just going by Priory House.
Yeah, just by Juniper House at present, top of Pilot Street.
Here.
Suddenly, they spot the two men.
Hang on, gents, just have a quick chat, please. Been a report that both of you have been in licensed premises and having used drugs.
This is all out of CCTV range, so Ali and Sally have to follow it through the police radios.
We stopped them, had words. One of them at the time was in possession of a glass, so I took the glass away from him, turned around to put the glass down, and he hot-footed it.
Hang on, I'm going to search you, all right? He's doing a runner. Foxtrot November 10 runner, Pilot Street.
Oh, yeah.
Usually when I shout stop, that usually stops them, but no, we do sometimes have to chase after them. It's not a pleasant experience, I can tell you. I lost sight of him down at the end. He turned into an alleyway.
What this man doesn't know is that he's running straight back into the CCTV camera sites.
Run at Chapel Lane, Pilot Street.
Pilot Street, you've got one that's run off.
Got our vehicle down pretty much towards the end of Pilot Street, but he was just a few seconds ahead.
They haven't come through yet.
And he came out of there at speed.
Experienced officers usually leave this sort of chase to the youngsters.
Wait, they've got him.
That is him. You got him.
Neil's right on his tail. He's got him. Oh!
You are nicked.
What are you fucking doing?
For the first time in my career, I have actually chased somebody and caught them. World exclusive for that one.
Oh! That was brilliant. He
I
got
got
him by
him.
his jumper.
So, you got anything on you?
Oh, I've got a wallet.
Right, here's your wallet.
Yeah, man.
OK, what's this?
It wasn't his night. Not only had CCTV found him, it had spotted something else too.
The money's mine, yeah.
Luckily, CCTV were on the case, because if you slow down the footage, you can actually see drugs coming away from his hand as he's trying to empty his pockets just prior to him going down. Fantastic colour, I have to say, yeah.
I'm actually arresting you on suspicion of possession of a controlled drug. Not to say anything, but
Both males now helping police with their inquiries.
We knew they'd be coming out here. He was in full flight when we turned up, but I was just too quick for him.
This man was charged with possessing cocaine and got a 12-month community order. Today, Kings Lynn CCTV is a long way from the black and white grainy pictures of 16 years ago.
We set up a system that is comparatively rudimentary compared to what we have now, but nevertheless, it was really effective. We realised we were paving a new way for a relatively small town, but I think we were quite brave, but not necessarily feeling so at the time. It was a job that really needed to be done.
Yeah, Medic 1, control.
The Kings Lynn CCTV manager, Carl Weeks, has been at the centre almost from the very start. But in the early days, it was a completely unknown technology.
Sorry, Vancouver, stand by for a moment, please.
When I had the chance to go into CCTV, I didn't really know what I was letting myself in for. Kings Lynn was the first. You never know what you're going to come into. Each day can be unique and each incident can be unique, and you're never bored of the type of incidents that you may come across.
And in those early days, CCTV showed how the most peaceful evening could hold a few surprises.
It was a quiet night, so the operator picked this car up coming on the industrial estate, just decided to follow it, and all of a sudden at the end it stops off at the telephone box and the guy gets out wearing a balaclava, and at that point it's all hell breaking loose.
It seems the man, like anyone, wanted some loose change, but not everyone takes along an acetylene torch to prize it out.
It was rather dramatic, and I think even looking back now, it takes hard beating.
Next, keeping the pubs and clubs clear of trouble.
Hey, me, don't swear. Never wear. You just did. Me, never wear.
When a bloody face isn't all it seems. And you sometimes can forget how to ride a bike. It's the start of a busy weekend, and CCTV in Kings Lynn, where it all started, is preparing to keep a watchful eye as the night hots up. As pubs and clubs open up, they log in with CCTV operator Marlene that they're ready for the night's festivities.
Good evening, Heights and Happy Chappy. How are you?
We're good, thank you. How are you?
All the better for hearing your lovely voice.
Marlene learned her friendly manner in her previous career as a travel agent. Now she likes to step in before anyone gets hurt. Kings Lynn operates a pub and club watch where security doormen can call upon CCTV if and when they spot someone who is or about to cause trouble.
I think this is one of the key functions of pub watch is that you go out and you have a safe night. So if somebody goes out and they start causing trouble, this is how pub watch works. It gets together and it informs other venues. So the liaison with CCTV, the police and the pubs is that we're able to move people who do cause problems and move them on.
If we ever have any problems in here that it gets bringing outside, the CCTV monitors at all times, then we just ban them from every other venue. So they just follow them around the town the rest of the night, and that's the end of.
What was it like in the bad old days?
4 or 5 years ago, this street used to be fight night every night. They all meet down here, so you get one club meet another club, and they always end up fighting. Now they realise that the cameras are on them all the time, so that's deterred it, I should say 95% now.
So the pub and club watch and the CCTV has proved to be a real deterrent?
Yeah.
As the evening wears on, CCTV has been alerted about a possible assault. They spot a man in the street covered in blood. Fearing there has been a major fight, the police are swiftly at the scene.
Control, mate.
Receiving guide.
Just got 3 people heading down towards McDonald's. One's just been evicted from my premises for starting a fight. He's rather bloodied up in the face.
Jesus. Male, he's got a rather bad cut to his face.
But this incident isn't quite what it looks like. Incredible as it seems, the wound might even be self-inflicted.
Yeah, just confirm he's glassed himself.
Yeah, it would appear that he's glassed himself.
The male has been well away with enjoyment and has actually glassed himself somehow by jumping up and down. Male's left the pub and walking down Norfolk Street rather covered in blood.
Obviously he's quite keyed up as well. Yeah. Yeah, these are walked from the Maid's Head and then they're down Norfolk Street. If you see somebody who needs help, you can get them help there. And to me, that's what it's all about. I'm just a caring person.
Do you want to get an ambulance done? What's the cut like?
tattoo.
Walk your man up the street here to our car. He's refused treatment, so he only lives half a mile up the road. His mates are going to take him home, so there's nothing we can do. We'll drive round, make sure he gets off okay so he doesn't get himself arrested for something daft.
So there's no crime committed here. Though crime's fallen in the last 6 years, in the past Kings Lynn has had its share of fighting troublemakers, inflicting their violence on other people.
The police in Kings Lynn keep a tight hold on potential trouble by using their fast response public order vehicles. Now, when trouble does kick off, the vehicles can be there in a matter of minutes, guided, of course, by CCTV.
We identify peak areas of demand, no matter what it would be, whether it be some forms of crime, whether it be public order incidents. And quite clearly, Friday nights, Saturday nights is when most people are out on the street having a drink, enjoying themselves, and that does occasionally lead to incidents.
It's 1 in the morning and there's been a call at the Chicago club. A large drunken man in a pink shirt is making a real nuisance of himself. Alerted by CCTV, the public order van is soon on the spot.
Just got two lads in the queue at Chicago's. Basically, they've had a bit of an altercation. And they're trying to hold the two back at the moment, so we're just on our way at the moment. CCTV are monitoring the situation, and we're just going to go and see if we can calm it down. Which one? The lad who picked up the pink shirt and the back. He's giving the fingers to everybody, he just won't learn.
We'll just have a word, please. Yeah, just have a word, please, mate. Stand over there for me, mate.
Handbag is at dawn, I think.
I had some reports that you've been causing some problems here, mate, and that you've had a bit of an altercation.
Another power that the police and CCTV can use is what's called a Section 27 order.
What I intend to do is issue you with a direct Section 27 direction to leave.
It's a new power what we've been given in Norfolk recently, so if you think someone's going to cause antisocial behaviour, damage, or fights if they carry on drinking, we now have the power to issue them with a Section 27 direction to leave.
So how long does this thing last for?
A police officer can require somebody to leave an area for up to 48 hours if they feel that there is likely to be or has been alcohol-related disorder. That's a real good tool for us, again, to make sure that people who have had a little bit too much to drink, got a little bit excited, don't get themselves into any trouble.
The male's been spoken to and words of advice given, and he's got 15 to 30 minutes to vacate the area. So we're basically now just going to keep an eye on him to make sure he does follow those instructions. If he does try to get in any other licensed venue, then we'll be letting the police know and come down and arrest him.
This is current as of now. If you do breach this, you'll be arrested, simple as that.
Carl and his colleague Matt follow our man on camera, but with minutes ticking by, will he get out of town in time?
Just to keep you updated, your male is still hanging about on the Tuesday marketplace.
Yeah, OK, mate. He did say he's getting his dad to come and pick him up, so he could be just waiting there for his old man to come and get him.
This time he's lucky. With only minutes to spare, he makes his getaway. For both CCTV and the police, issuing a Section 27 saves time and trouble.
You can say to them, that camera up there is going to make sure you don't come back in. They're not going to then just wander off thinking, oh, that's all right, I'll go around the corner and come back in, because they know they're being watched. I think when it's explained to people in a good old-fashioned way that, do you want to wake up in your own bed in the morning, or do you want to wake up in a cell? And then they suddenly sort of perhaps just have a flash for a minute and think, bed, cell. I'll go home.
But some men can't get away so quickly. Marlene spots a man who wants to go home on his bike, but he's very much the worse for wear, and that's only the start of his troubles.
Control.
Yeah, go ahead, Barred.
A gentleman with a bicycle seems extraordinarily drunk and looks as though he's going to get on it and cycle off.
Well, we shall keep a pleasant little eye on him, make sure he's okay.
Drunk male debating or not whether to ride his bike. We've had 3 people in that state up on a bike riding down Norfolk Street. That was immensely funny.
He can manage the walking bit, but as far as riding the bike, well, that's a little more tricky. With our wobbly cyclist stuck in this undignified position, Matt calls up nearby door staff to see if he's okay.
Control bar, Red. Yeah, are you offering to look after his bike for the night for him?
I think it's a safer option.
They spot the problem. It's best to unlock a bike before trying to ride it.
He's still got the lock around the back wheel, being the reason why he went arse over. He's in extremely bad way, to be honest with you.
Yeah, received.
And of course, it helps if it's the right bike in the first place.
Just sitting here thinking to myself, there's a bike on the other side of the road that's locked up as well, and he's been sat there for about 20 minutes trying to unlock it. I'm just wondering whether that ain't his bike and his bike's the one on the other side of the road.
Whichever bike is his, the would-be cyclist needs to be safely escorted home. With the night almost over, CCTV suddenly spots a very keyed-up drunken man. Worried about what he's up to, they decide to track him.
Go ahead, Heights.
Can you put the camera on the front door, please? We've got somebody at the front door kicking the door. Can we get somebody down here to move him on?
Yep, camera's already there. Uniform 2, control.
Uniform 2, go ahead.
Yeah, would you mind attending Heights, please? I've got a gentleman standing at the door, keep kicking it, being a bit abusive.
Yeah, Uniform 1 are on the way down now.
He's had his fill of trying to kick down doors and opts to broaden out the attack.
Uniform 1 still attending King Street. We've just got this male now deciding to punch windows. One's just been put through, mate. Be advised, this male is very, very agitated.
Got back to the police station after a public order night and we thought everything was quietening down. Obviously, as soon as you think that, something happens.
There's an agitated male who has been punching windows and he's actually just punched a window right through. So we're just on the way there now.
We have informed local officers via our radio, but this male jumping out into traffic's already put a window through on King Street for your information.
So, mate, we're nearly there.
Yeah, he's ducked into... Keep coming, keep coming. Yeah, stop.
Stop to your left-hand side, a bit further down.
Yeah, received.
When we get there, the chap's run down a side alleyway. Now, if there was no CCTV there at all, he would have been gone, long gone, and we wouldn't have found him at all.
The CCTV has given the correct directions, but it seems that the man has disappeared into the night.
Uniform 1, control.
Go ahead.
We go down the right alleyway, mate.
Yes, yes.
Roger, received. Can't see him down here at the moment. Stand by.
Yeah, received. I don't think this male's going to be able to hide from you for long. He was well pumped up.
Can't have got far.
This male, I believe, definitely did cut himself as he kept checking his hand.
Matt is right. The trail of blood leads to the alleyway.
Yeah, all received, mate. That'll give us another good one to go on.
Yeah, control uniform 1. Just checked the hard drive, mate. He definitely went down that alleyway.
Yeah, Roger, received. Thank you, mate.
There was only one way out at the end of this alleyway, over a large fence, and there was a big garden and one house.
Hello?
Just on the off chance, I knocked on the house, which was all in darkness.
It's the police. Sorry to disturb you, sir. We've just had an incident at the top there where a window's been smashed. Where's that blood come from, do you know? Is your hands okay, are they? Yeah? Does anyone else live here?
My grandson came in 10 minutes ago.
Right, whereabouts is your grandson?
He's upstairs on the top floor.
Right, can I go and speak to him then, please? Yeah, thank you. I think he might be coming with us.
The chap was upstairs in bed, asleep with blood all over the floor.
All right. Yeah, you coming out, mate, yeah? Yeah, cancel. Found the gentleman there. Right, you're under arrest for criminal damage, mate, yeah? You got anything on you shouldn't have, mate?
Not at all.
No?
I've only got a key and cash on me, that's all.
Right.
I've broken somebody else's property, Grandma. I was silly and drunk.
All right, we'll get it sorted out and we'll be fine. We'll look after him and we'll get him back as quickly as possible.
Shut that door.
Yeah, no problem. Just wait there for me, mate.
Sometimes we do go into incidents blind. If there wasn't CCTV, there'd be a lot more undetected crimes in the area than there actually is now.
This man was accused of criminal damage and cautioned on condition he made good the damage. A long night is coming to an end, and as always, Marlene's there to send the club security men home.
Good night, DTs, thank you. I just think the doormen have just as tough enough job as, not as police, but as good as the police do. They are on the receiving end of somebody being drunk who perhaps is getting told to leave the club. So I just think it's late at night. You don't know who's about. They've not got to be the ones who cause any trouble, but I always just think, well, it's better to say good night and have a safe journey home. To me, it's just giving them that little reassurance that, you know, we're about, we do watch as much as we can and people care. Thanks, Chicago's. Good night and have a safe trip home.
Next, you can't trust anyone these days. How one drunk driver wasn't coming home alone.
He was with me, he was.
And don't ever think you can escape the cameras by hiding in a hoodie.
You can be sure that sometime within that incident where somebody's got a hood pulled down, the hood will ride up and they will be caught on camera.
It's late on Friday, and Kings Lynn CCTV operators are on the lookout. They're after the punters who come straight out of the bars and into their cars. CCTV operator Dan spots a group of men staggering down the street.
As I followed them, they started heading towards one of the car parks. It's always just worth watching people heading towards the car parks, just in case. I saw one of them stumble and fall against the wall. As he went round to the car park, I saw him get into a vehicle.
The man gets into the driver's seat and CCTV alerts the police.
VK West. Yeah, VK, we've got a possible DIC about to leave Albert Street car park. Gibbsy saw this guy on Norfolk Street having to hold on to the wall. Yep, vehicle now on the move onto Albert Street. Yep, got a right heading towards John Kennedy. Now on the one-way system.
Together, police and CCTV staff keep track of the car with its suspicious driver.
Now to Littleport Street, heading towards Gaywood, now off camera.
Off he went in his car, followed him as best I could out of the town, and then lost view of him.
TV West from Kilo Mike 20. I think the vehicle's come on to North Lynn, if you can keep an eye on St Ed's, Matt.
Yep, received.
I just put cameras up on a couple of the estates just in case they sort of popped up there, and they did. They popped up on Bag Road.
Yeah, we're just coming up by the wall pack. Have we got any details of that vehicle at all?
Index number of Papa 730.
As it was coming up the road, there was a car in front of it coming up as well, what pulled over. So we got out and spoke to one of the chaps.
All right, now I can immediately see and smell that you've had something to drink.
Yeah.
All right?
All right.
Okay. So what I want you to do is provide me with a breath sample.
Yep,
okay. I must warn you that failing to provide a sample is an offence and you will be arrested.
Right.
Okay. Right. Blow nice and long and hard until I say stop. Keep going, keep going, keep going, keep going, and stop. Do you know what the legal limit for drink is?
Sort of, yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Well, that is a failure. Okay. So I'll tell you now, mate. You are under arrest. Okay, for driving with excess alcohol.
At this point, it's a normal bust, but this suspect isn't giving up on his own.
Okay?
Yep. What about a bloke up in the corner there that was following?
Well, I don't think we need to worry about him, do we? So what we'll do is we'll get you...
he was with me, he was.
Right, well, he's not with you now, is he? So
No.
we're going to get you in
All
this
right.
car over here, yeah?
All right.
We then got him in the back of the car, and the chap decided to say, what about my mate in front there? He's been out drinking with me as well. So I got out and spoke to this chap, and he did smell heavily of alcohol as well.
Just step out, yeah, just need to give me a sample of breath, please, mate, if you don't mind.
Well, I haven't been drinking, what?
You have been drinking?
Well, I haven't been moving, so you can't do me.
Yeah, I saw you driving up here, mate, as we pulled in down here.
He seemed to think that I couldn't breathalyse him or do anything because we hadn't actually caught him driving. So he actually admitted that you can't do me because I pulled into the side before you came round the corner. So there's your admission.
Right, you failed that, mate, so this time you're under arrest for
What was that then?
positive breath test, 57.
It was just one of them bizarre incidents where you just can't write it, and these things happen.
Right, come on.
He's not too pleased at being arrested. And with friends like his, who needs enemies?
Oh, yes. If we hadn't had CCTV around there, that would have been two drink drivers what would have got away, never to be seen again, possibly thought, oh, we've got away with it, so we'll do it again, and could have, like I said before, potentially had a bad accident and seriously injured someone. So that was the job, basically, so we've got two for the price of one.
Doesn't happen very often, you get 2 for 1, but yeah, it's good.
Both drivers here were fined £300 and both were banned from driving for 2 years. CCTV spots the drivers who've had a drink. They don't always want to stop.
We come across this Jaguar sort of trying to get its way out of a police jam, so to speak.
This driver thought he could ram his way out of trouble.
It rams a police vehicle in the back and then tries to make off.
When that failed, he tried to lock himself in his car. But Kings Lynn police had an answer for that as well.
Obviously, at that point, police were able to stop the vehicle and get the man out.
CCTV is not just about controlling crime, it also saves lives. Now here in Kings Lynn, the CCTV operators and the police work closely with the Rapid Response Paramedic team, which is based here in the control room.
Here's Kings Lynn pioneering again and using old solutions for modern problems. The paramedics, guided by cameras, use bicycles to get through pedestrian areas to any incident.
Let's go to see you and go ahead.
Medics should be there in a minute.
We had a look at the town centre and the major pedestrianised area that was within the town. Sat down, looked at the emergency calls in Kings Lynn and realised that, you know, we're not getting to them quick enough and the cycle could be the answer in getting emergency aid to those people.
There's a medic.
You mind if we do a few observations from you?
I'm a bloody drunk.
Do we know how long he's been here?
We've got a defibrillator on there, oxygen. We carry sort of life-saving drugs, obviously. It's basically a very condensed version of an ambulance, but so whatever they can do, we can generally do.
You can't lie out here all day, can you? You freeze to death.
There's a bit of a thing going on between the amateurs and the bike a lot of the time. If I know they're going, they know I'm going, there is a bit of a, I'm going to beat them. Yeah, so I pedal hard.
So we got Sainsbury's 2, call up Medic 1, just confirm conscious breathing.
The people on the cycle response unit also work on frontline ambulances. They're fully trained to deal with anything. Some of the incidents attended has been road traffic collisions, cardiac arrests in the town. So anything that you would normally call an ambulance to, the cycle response unit will attend. We've attended about 120 calls so far. Out of those 120 that we've attended, only 40 of them have actually had to go into hospital by ambulance. So a lot of the time we are able to deal on scene and deliver the most appropriate care.
Apart from spotting incidents and guiding the paramedics to the scene, CCTV has an important role in fighting another modern scourge.
Assaults and violence towards NHS staff is on the increase, and we have to do everything we can to try and reduce that and look after the staff out there. Working alongside and in partnership with the CCTV allows us to have extra security, be watched all the time, and when they're on scene at jobs, they can keep an eye on our bikes and our equipment.
It is nice to know that somebody's just looking over your shoulder, making sure you're okay.
Since its birth in 1987, Kings Lynn CCTV has come of age.
Yes, obviously, thanks very much.
Today, CCTV is a top tool in the fight against crime, even when it's difficult for a suspect to be identified on tape. CCTV footage is vital as evidence in court, but the technology has got to keep a step ahead of the villains. One university department in Manchester is specially skilled at reconstructing faces from skeleton heads. The same team helps identify faces that are partially hidden in CCTV footage. Ray Evans runs the project. He painstakingly reconstructs faces from photographs taken by CCTV.
You have to find your images. Very often you will have 10, 15 tapes that are sent to you, and then you have to go to each frame in detail. And then you have to make a subjective decision which particular frames are best for you to use in your comparisons. You then use those frames in conjunction with the known images that you're going to be analysing. The simplest way is to put those images right next to each other. Unfortunately, video is a very low quality medium. So what we do, we trace the images, and let's say you're tracing the image of a face. All you're showing is the outline of the face, the relevant structures within that face. Then when that is seen on its own, then everything else is falls into the background.
And if you think that wearing a disguise will hide you, think again. Ray will still come for you.
You can have any level of disguise. A full face mask which obscures everything. You can have very light disguise. Somebody may pull their hoodie down over their face, but you can be sure that sometime within that incident where somebody's got a hood pulled down, the hood will ride up and they will be caught on camera.
That is exactly what happened in this shooting incident outside a nightclub.
Door staff realised that there was something not quite right. They threw him out, and he turned around and started just shooting. The material was brought as digital CCTV. On that particular case, there were quite a number of clear frames, as I call them, of the perpetrator, the offender. Yes, he was wearing a hood, but the hood lifts up and so you can see his face. It was night time, but you're able to bring up some of the contrast just using the computer. The material that we used as reference was very good. They used the Viper system, where they sit the defendant down in a controlled environment. They move their head around in various positions.
By matching the exact position of the CCTV frame with a frame taken from the Viper tape, Ray can start compiling facial similarities and show an exact match.
You put those two sets of images together, then you can overlay them to see whether or not those features fit. Any differences, obviously, will show quite clearly.
Ray's work helped convict this man of attempted murder. He got a 10-year prison sentence, with an extra 5 in connection with another offence. But facial recognition is not only there to get a conviction. Ray sometimes has been able to establish someone's innocence. In this case, the man on the left of the picture was accused of drug dealing. Ray had his doubts when he saw a picture of the man later arrested. Were they the same man?
The two chaps did, on the face of it, look quite similar. But when you actually put the images side by side and play them side by side and then do tracings, you realize that the hairlines were different. Yes, they looked vaguely North African, but then the similarities ended, and then all the differences started coming out. I was so concerned about this particular case that, that they really did have the wrong person. I went as far as to ask the defense to supply me with images of the defendant going back several years, because there was a distinct shape to his hairline, which I thought maybe it was because as he'd grown older he'd shaved it in that particular shape. But that wasn't the case. The hairline when he was 15 was exactly the same as the hairline when he was maybe 25, 28. So that was quite distinctive. And he was acquitted.
CCTV is developing further. Fixed cameras can only pan and scan to seek out trouble points, especially in crowds. In sporting events, for instance, you need to have a bird's eye view. This is the latest weapon in CCTV's fight against crime. It's called micro-drone, and it's only the size of a car wheel, but it can go anywhere its operator wants to send it.
The drone was developed as a military tool 8 years ago over in Germany. The German military devised the need to see over the next field, and this was the answer, to actually have a little airborne device with a vision system attached.
The micro-drone is armed with either still or HD widescreen cameras and relays the images live back to the ground.
Of greater interest to the police has been the HD widescreen format video, and they can run better quality than they get from the static CCTV down to the user, and also we can do 12 megapixel still.
It can work in daylight, low light, and has a thermal imaging capability.
You can get proficient within 20 minutes, and to be able to execute quite complex manoeuvres, we normally do a 4 or 5 day training session.
This high-tech drone also has a few other surprises up its sleeve.
The system is now capable of flying on its own, so you can program it at home using a digital mapping program, take it out to where you want to fly and press go, and it will fly that route repeatedly. In the case of football stadiums and entry and exit to those stadiums, you could cover known hotspots again, purely autonomously, and the operators could sit within a vehicle watching the screens as they would with a static CCTV.
Above all, the manufacturers say it is safe.
You can put your hands in the blades at full throttle. The unit defaults to hover if you let go of the controls. There's only one chance that it will fall out of the sky, which is literally if it's shot out of the sky.
At the moment, Merseyside police have got one drone, and nearly half the police forces in the UK are considering it. But the big test isn't far away.
The plan is to get it involved with the Olympics. Certainly for 2012, I'd like to think you'll see this unit up over the stadiums.
Next, CCTV looks after those who can't stand the course in a charity chase round town.
Medic 2 control?
Yeah, got a male collapse, Saturday marketplace near the butchers.
And their home is their castle. How more and more people are getting their own CCTV to stand guard.
There it goes.
Shows you the footage of him approaching the mirror.
It's Sunday morning and nearly 2,000 people are preparing to run a 10K charity run around the streets of Kings Lynn. Most of these people don't realise that every step of the race will be covered by CCTV. They won't realise that the cycle paramedics are also on call should they be needed. Most will not even have heard that Kings Lynn CCTV was the place where all these surveillance cameras started.
Crowd
crowd control, especially like with the Great East Angling Run. There were so many there, and I was shocked on how many people were there, and which is nice because they've come to support all the local people, but at the same time they just need to be that little bit more aware that them lines are there for a reason. Them little barriers are there, and not to cross them if they can help it, because it makes it hard work for the runners and for us if we do get any instances for a paramedic to even attend to.
Medic 2, control. Medic 2, control. Yeah, got a male collapse, Saturday marketplace near the butchers. Where are you now?
My current location is outside Boots, over.
Okay, head towards Burton's and follow down the high street.
We were able to get one of the paramedics to the Saturday marketplace by going through the crowd and giving them directions to get there.
Can someone just hold that for us? Someone just hold that one here.
Working along CCTV, that was our bird's eye view, really. We could see where the people were collapsing and being able to update them on the way as to the condition of the patient, whether they were conscious, whether they were breathing, and their possible injuries. We could keep them updated all the way through.
As the race continues, CCTV keeps an eagle eye on everything that's going on.
Have you not seen him?
The race is in its finishing stage, and the CCTV cameras record it all as runners steadily start dropping out.
I think the day was very successful for CCTV. I think some of the casualties we had on that day, I think the bicycle paramedic and the contact and the liaison that we had through CCTV proved to be very successful.
But CCTV isn't just confined to the public parks and streets. More and more people want their own tailor-made private CCTV system. CCTV is about protecting people and property, and there's still massive scope to push the technology even further. Here there are DIY systems available for as little as £30.
It's very popular. It's like one of our best equipments that we have. This morning we've had a guy came in here and he spent like £500 on CCTV, so they're very popular indeed.
The company has reported that in the last 12 months, sales of CCTV cameras and security kit have risen by a staggering 70%. Kings Lynn is no different. Police have been called to a private house where the owner has recorded 2 youths damaging his car.
It's a camera, I believe it's actually in the vehicle itself. The person's had reported this a number of times, damage to his vehicle. He's taken the matter to his own hand in the fact that he's had some CCTV in his vehicle in an attempt to assist us in identifying the persons responsible.
Your camera's actually been inside your vehicle.
So it's too dark, isn't it? You can't get any facial features at all on there, can you? You can't even make out what they're wearing.
Anything that we are able to view to produce evidence of an offence is a good thing. And if somebody has or is suffering maybe a series of crimes, or there is a particular problem, a neighbour dispute or something like that, then they should be able to protect their own property and produce that evidence for us to then take it on and deal with it.
Back at the station, police view earlier and clearer footage of the 2 youths damaging the vehicle.
There he goes. Shows you the footage of him approaching the mirror on his bike. Then has a look around and kicks it with his foot. So yeah.
This private CCTV footage is hard evidence that both youths are damaging the vehicle.
We'll get some stills printed off, and then we'll speak to the male at his home address, with his parents present due to his age, I'd imagine.
Today, there are now over 4.25 million CCTV cameras throughout the UK. It's estimated that there is 1 camera for every 14 people here in Britain.
CCTV to EQ.
Some see it as the public face of the surveillance society and want it curbed wherever possible. For others, it's a badly needed reassurance that the streets are safe while someone, somewhere, is watching over them. Whatever, CCTV is here to stay. What matters are the rules that govern its use, the controls over the camera.